Okay, so good evening. I'm Richard the Razor Ewing. Did you hear that just now, Matt?
I did. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was either. That must have been a new feature in Zoom. I don't know. Anyway, I'm Richard the Razor Ewing. He's Matt NoneTheWiser. If you're watching us right now, you're watching GameFace right now. You got your GameFace on. And this is a good thing. It's Monday. This is what we do. And Matt, just like always, I'm not changing. You know me. I got to go to the questions.
Hit it.
So if you're trying to figure out how to get that list together, when you go to Sprouts, you're on the wrong podcast. And if you're trying to figure out what you got to do to pay that traffic ticket, because it's too high, you're on the wrong podcast. However, if you're trying to get insight into Bay Area sports, then guess what? You just put your GameFace on. And if you're trying to get insight or the spectator's view on a national level, once again, you put your GameFace on. I'm Richard the Razor. Like I said, he's Matt the NoneTheWiser. Matt, what do we got?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
Oh, well. You know, that's the beautiful thing about sports is 1 week you're like sitting on the stinking mountaintop, staring down the barrel of needing to win 1 out of 2 games to get into the NBA playoffs. You think it's in the bag, you think it's in the bag. The way they're playing against the Lakers, you think it's in the bag. The way they were playing against Memphis, you thought they were in it, but they're not. And so here we are, a week later, after I was just praising how thankful we should be as Bay Area sports fans. Here we are, wallowing in our misery after the Warriors get knocked out of the play-in game to make it to the finals. Or to playoffs, to hopefully make it to the finals, which is now not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. No.
And to top it off, Richard, if that wasn't bad enough, the knife, the dagger, the unnecessary add-on.
Just wait a minute. In other words, the pain in the throat.
There's more. It does not stop there. The Giants get swept by the evil LA Doyers.
I gotta turn my hat around. I gotta go this route.
So I don't know what else to do right now other than say it's time for a word from our sponsor. And that's betonline.ag.
Come on.
Richard, I told you last week I was going to go put a little money down on the Warriors. I did it. I actually did it against the Lakers. I put money down on the Warriors, getting 5 points to win. And I did it at betonline.ag, and it was simple, easy, quick. And guess what, brother? Even though the Warriors lost,
you won.
Big Matt still won some money.
Oh, man.
They lost by 3 points. So 5-point spread. It was a good bet by me. I only put $10 down, but hey, a winner is a winner. Winner, chicken dinner, and it happened at betonline.ag. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, and odds. It's the best place to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. We are in NBA playoff season. Go make your bets over on betonline.ag. I encourage you, head to their website, betonline.ag, or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.
I just don't know what to. I
don't like winning money when my team loses. I put money for them to win straight out. I didn't need those 5 points.
Look, this is the problem I have with gambling as a whole. It's like, okay, you won, but
my team lost.
But your team lost. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't make me feel good. It's like, okay, you put a few dollars in your pocket, but and this is the thing that we got to cover tonight, So you look at Golden State, you look at what happened, and yes, this is something that it's a gut check punch. It really is. It's like You know what I mean? Just took the wind out of you. You know what I mean? And so the question is, okay, so this season, with everything that the Warriors had to deal with, is it a successful season, or is it a season that you just say to yourself, well, I don't really see it as being successful. I think it failed.
I disagree. I see it as being successful. Look, we started the season out going, hey, we got James Wiseman, we got Steph Curry, we got Draymond Green, we got Klay Thompson, we got Andrew Wiggins, we got Kelly Oubre. I mean, that's like we went into the season like, and then day one of like right before the draft, we lose Klay Thompson for the season. Gone, boom, nothing, out. And with what they were left with, right? With what Steph Curry was left with actually his first year playing a full season with Andrew Wiggins, successful. I think that right there, that experiment, successful, right? James Wiseman, implementing him into the game, into the offense, into the game, into the defense. That was mildly successful. Maybe an incomplete or an inconclusive because we just haven't seen it all. But I mean, we went into the season with no Klay and a rookie, James Wiseman, 19-year-old rookie, that we were going to try to get playing time. And to even be in the conversation of getting into the playoffs, to have shaken LeBron James to his core. I mean, LeBron knew like that was going to be that was trouble. Like that game was trouble. And you know what? To his credit, he came out and did what he needed to do. He made a ridiculous shot that he needed to make. And so you tip your cap to him, but it did show that the Warriors were just short of, some bullets, some weapons, someone else, some secondary scoring, someone else to go along with Steph Curry. But in my opinion, with what we started the season out with no Klay again, I would consider it a successful season. I think we saw a lot of things, and Steph Curry played like a man on a mission, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I don't think it was a failed season. I think it was successful. Okay, because you have to really consider, everything that happened. The fact that, like you said, that we lost Klay Thompson. COVID-19 happened, and that affected every team.
Yeah, no training camp.
Yeah, no training camp, no off season. Wiseman couldn't get acclimated into the core of what the Warriors do, so that affected everything. You consider the fact that injuries hampered this team throughout the season.
Oubre out at the end of the season. Damian
right.
out at the end of the season.
Right. All that affected everything. And so, still, the fact that this team made a decent run at the play-in, for the playoffs shows that there's something there. Now we all know what the something is. The something is that Steph Curry is in his prime, and the sad part is that down the stretch, when he really needed the guys, unfortunately they didn't show up. And I'm not talking about Andrew Wiggins. I know you probably think, well, Rich, Wiggins didn't play well. It's true, he didn't, but it wasn't just Wiggins. Okay, Draymond didn't play well. JTA kind of slumped through it, and you had some other key figures of individuals. Kevon Looney wasn't the rebound guy we thought he would be down the stretch. We needed more of that from him. And I'll tell you something, the one thing that has plagued Golden State throughout the entire season, I've said this from the beginning of the season, even last season, is that they're too busy getting involved with trading shots with teams. Okay, you can't do that. You have to have perimeter defense. The job of basketball in the NBA is to score more points than the other team. If you're trading baskets with teams, you're not going to score more points. It's going to be a closer game. Okay, that's the reason why they lost the game to the Lakers. Now, the Lakers game they should have won.
Absolutely, they should have won the Lakers.
Yeah, they should have won that game because really they played better than the Lakers. Okay,
it was you know what it was. It was an uncharacteristic, and the Warriors have done it all year. I mean, I remember all the Warriors runs, winning the championships. When the third quarter started, the game ended because the Warriors would come out and put their foot on your neck and wouldn't let you up. They were relentless in the third quarter. And now you see with this group, especially in this season, the third quarter, they blew games. They blew a bunch of games. They were up against the Lakers. They blew it in the third quarter.
I'll tell you something. The other thing that bothered me too is that when I look at, and I tell you something, really, if you're a Warriors fan right now, you probably should be smiling. And I'll tell you why. I think of back in 2015 when the Warriors were, and I say 2015, it might have been 2014, I may be wrong. The Warriors played against the Clippers, okay? And Doc Rivers was the head coach. And they ran past the Warriors. But then the following season, and I want to say 2016, I believe, the Warriors played the Clippers, and the Warriors routed the Clippers. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, they beat them bad. And I remember distinctly, Doc Rivers was on camera saying, after they got beat that bad, he said, that is not the same Warriors team we played last season. I remember him saying that. And so I look at some things like the development of Jordan Poole, the fact that JTA just signed a regular contract, okay? The fact that, you look at Eric Paschall, and some people will say, well, Eric Paschall didn't really contribute that much. But if you look at his numbers, he actually played better this year than he did last year. His biggest issue was that his defense wasn't that great, okay? But I'm saying, I look at those three players, and you know what I see? I see the one thing that everybody's been trying to point out as far as Coach Kerr and the Warriors coaching staff. That, you know what, the coaching staff doesn't really do well at development, that whole thing, But no, I look at it, I think, okay, you know what? What happens if you bring all these guys back, okay, and you got a healthy Klay Thompson?
Healthy Klay Thompson, you got 2 first-round picks.
Right, and you got James Wiseman coming through a full season of direction.
With training camp, all that, summer league. He's
exactly.
Coming in, he's ready to go. 2 first-round picks. Klay coming back. Plus, they got a mid-level exception to go out and get a veteran.
Right.
Get a veteran. Not to mention what you can do with those first-round picks is that could be trade potential to get a guy like, I heard a name floating around, a guy like Kawhi Leonard. I mean, could you imagine something like that, going into next year with Klay coming back, Wiseman with more run, and Kawhi Leonard with Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, Draymond Green?
Yeah, but
we're only getting started.
Yeah, but this is the thing. At the end of the day, it's still back to what I am trying to point out. And that is the fact that this is once again a situation where Coach Kerr and company are going to be, looked at and said, well, you know what? Maybe we had these guys wrong. Maybe the development that's going on in there is better than we thought. Okay, because
it obviously is.
Yeah, because I look at that season, like I said, 2016 season where those guys went in, they were kicking everybody behind. Okay. And I look at, and everybody kind of pushed the Warriors aside this year. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, Steph, that's great. Yeah, you know what, but you guys aren't okay. Now, mark my words. I'm saying it right here on GameFace, okay? Next season, when they got everybody back and the coaching staff has got a full season, it's like, it makes you wonder what can happen next season.
Well, I mean, you saw what Steph Curry and the Warriors and Steve Kerr and the staff and the whole organization did this year with not a lot. I mean, and a lot of uncertainty.
And that's the key point. They did not
a lot of uncertainty. I mean, COVID alone, the uncertainty of COVID was a huge obstacle. But not knowing what you had, not knowing what JTA was going to be, not knowing what Jordan Poole was going to be this year. I mean, they sent him down back to the G League. So you're absolutely right. So it's scary to think about what kind of team they're going to be next year when they got a little more experience.
Yeah. Okay. I hate to do this to you, but we got to move on to baseball.
The A's are playing well. The A's are playing really well.
But come on. Okay. The Giants dropped 2 key games. They got swept by the Dodgers. And the question in the back of everybody's mind is this: okay, is this the beginning of the end of the success for the Giants? Because we've seen this movie before, right? Where they put up a good fight, they do this, and then all of a sudden, oh no, you know what I mean? It's like, oh no, here we go. Look, all of a sudden now they lose 11 straight or something. You're just like, oh, you don't want to see this movie coming. You really don't. Matter of fact, this is a movie you show up. This is a movie you show up to. You don't even bring the popcorn. You just say, okay, look, I don't want to see this movie because I've seen this before. And the other thing,
I don't.
And the other thing is, what do we know? We know, hey, Farhan Zaidi has been the master of all three teams. He's been the master of the A's, he's been the master of the Dodgers, and now he's the master of the Giants. And somehow, some way, he allowed his mastery in LA to come back and haunt him.
Well, I mean, listen, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're stacked. I say, it's amazing what money can get you in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But I poke fun there because I just can't stand the Dodgers. It doesn't matter. Like, if it was all homegrown talent, I'd find something bad to say. Besides Kershaw, really, they can all just go away. Kershaw, I like. He's a solid dude and great pitcher. I don't like when he faces the Giants, but the rest of them all could just go away.
You can go away. Okay.
With that being said, like the Giants right now, Farhan has done an amazing job. Kapler's doing an amazing job. I've kind of been one of the biggest critics personally against them both, and I'm gonna eat crow. Like, they're doing what I thought couldn't happen, and they're playing good baseball. Listen, I kind of knew that this would be coming. The Giants would take a slide at some point. They'd get on a little bit of a losing streak. Figured it might be against the Dodgers, a Dodger Padre maybe matchup if there was a back-to-back, who knows? But
don't tell me it's against the Dodgers. I just don't want to hear that. I really don't.
Okay? I don't either. I don't.
Come on, this is just this is old as the Hatfields and the McCoys, man. Come on, let's keep it real.
I listen. I do not like it either. Their World Series championship last year, to me, it didn't count. It was in a bubble. It did not count. So they haven't won a World Series since, what was it, 88 now. So the Dodgers can go away. I'm done with the Dodgers, but the Giants, I'm really, really excited. The only thing I could ask for is let's get some bullpen help. That's the only thing I think I see that they can use some help, because the starting pitchers are studs this year. Studs, three or four of them.
I'll tell you something. You're absolutely correct. I'm impressed with what Kapler is doing out there. And hat tip to Farhan, because you're right. I mean, it's you look at this team the way they were the year before. It's like nobody expected this team to be in first place in the NL West, and yet they're 1 or 2 games back right now. I don't expect it to go sour. I think they'll revamp at some point, but it's just the way that happened this last weekend. It made you cringe, because you thought, okay, you look at what this team's potential is and what they're capable of, and to let something like this happen, it's just it's sour grapes. It really is.
Well, here's what was concerning about it for me is they came in against the Dodgers after playing, I think it was the Cincinnati Reds.
Mm-hmm.
And that last game against the Reds, the Giants just absolutely lit them up. I mean, I don't remember how many runs they scored, but it was more.
It was like 11 to 5 or something like that.
Lit them up. Lit them up. And it was beautiful. And I think they ran out of all juice before they got to the Dodgers and ran out of steam. That's what I'm hoping. They ran out a little bit of steam. What I do know is I think because of Dave Kapler, because of Farhan Zaidi, because of the way that they have structured their team, they are going to be very consistent. And I tried to look at all the series that they've played so far this year, Richard, the Giants, and it's probably, it's got to be in the 10 to 20 range of series that they've played. I think they've only lost 3 series.
Yeah, that's actually very accurate. That's very accurate.
Like, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that is incredible. That means you're playing really, really good baseball, and they are, and they're playing consistently good baseball. And I just hope they can turn it around. Take the day off. Let's get back at it tomorrow.
Okay, we're gonna move on quickly because that whole scene just. Okay. Anyway, we're moving on. So we got to talk about what's going on in Green Bay. Okay. Aaron Rodgers did not show up for OTAs. Okay. He has vehemently stated that he does not want to go back and play for Green Bay. Now, this is the thing. I'm saying this right now, but the other part of it is that I want to respect Aaron Rodgers as a person, okay? Because really, at the end of the day, as spectators, we really don't know what goes behind the scenes, what's going on inside the locker room, okay? But to me, and maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. But this guy, does he just seem like a crybaby to you? You know, some guy that just doesn't get his way, and then when he doesn't, he just yells foul. I mean, I don't know. Am I right about this, or maybe I'm wrong?
Let me answer it this way. Yes, total crybaby. But let me on the other side of it.
Right.
If I'm playing some of my best football, right? Mm-hmm. But I know that time is running out on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that the team that I'm currently playing for isn't really out trying to actively make the team better right now.
Mm-hmm.
I might be a little bit of a crybaby too, because I'm competitive. I want to win.
Okay.
And I know that I don't have many more years left. These football players do not. I mean, it's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
No. That's why they call it the NFL, which means not
for long. Yeah, absolutely. So part of me is like, yeah, stop crying. Like, Green Bay's been good to you. That's the team that drafted you. The fan base absolutely loves and adores you. Return the favor, be good, stay there, finish your career. But then another side of me is like, yo, you want to be competitive and win now, and you don't have much time left, and it's time to go. And if the team's not ready to go with you, then maybe it's time for you to go somewhere else. And that's probably what he's thinking. Hey, bigger news flash. What about Julio Jones?
Yeah, nice segue. I love that. Nice segue. And this is the thing. It's scuttlebutt's going around that the Niners are in first place with picking him up because of the relationship with Kyle Shanahan.
And he wants to win. He wants to win.
Man, can you imagine
Debo,
having Julio Jones with Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk,
George Kittle,
and wait a minute, and Garoppolo throwing to him.
Oh, at that point, it doesn't matter who's back there at quarterback, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Put Trey Young in. It's time. Let's go.
Yeah.
He's got all the weapons there.
Yeah. In other words, we could have Webb throwing the football at that point.
Logan, you're in.
Yeah. But the thing is that they moved on the receiver they picked up last week. I can't think of his name right now. But I was kind of astonished at that. I didn't expect it to happen. Did you?
No, because I figured they needed all the help they could get in the wide receiver room this year, because there's a battle for the number 3-4 wide receiver on this team. So, I was a little bit surprised, because you do sign a guy and then you waive him. I mean,
I don't know. I wasn't ready for that. But I didn't get it.
You know, maybe they want to keep him on the practice squad. They waive him. He passes waivers. They could just pick him up, put him on the practice squad, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs on that end of it, but definitely a little weird. I'll read into it. The Niners are making room for Julio Jones. That's why they released the wide receiver.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
I don't know.
That's an interesting thing. For all we know, it may be going on. See, that's what
I like to think.
But that's the reason why we're here to spectate. We ain't here to relate. So to relate, we'd have to be in the locker room. We can't be. So, but this is the thing. You also have the only team in the Bay Area to win this weekend, the Oakland Roots. They're the only team in the Bay Area that won this weekend. I hate to say it. The Oakland Roots is the soccer team of I believe it's the NILS. I want to say.
I think so.
Yeah, and they actually won a game, I guess, from the MLS. The team they were playing, and they actually beat them. I think they're 1-1 right now, but they were the only team that won this weekend. And I'm just like, wow, okay, I gotta actually say this, because none of our other teams won.
Earthquakes lost.
Yeah, everybody lost. So, but
it was a real tough weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty tough to be a Bay Area sports fan, no question about it. So the situation in Houston, okay, let me just go ahead and repeat it because you guys have heard it 1,000 times. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. And the problem is Deshaun Watson. Okay. Apparently, Deshaun wants out of Houston. He doesn't care about his lawsuits or anything else. He just wants out. Problem is, he's going to get paid. What is that thing? 18 million if he gets traded. And you look at the baggage that he's carrying along with that $18 million contract, and everybody's just going, oh, well, you know what? I don't want to touch you with a 10-foot pole.
I don't see it. I don't know if there's a team desperate enough to go out and make that move right now. I really don't. I mean, with all that comes along with it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and what it is, I think one of them, it's not an $18 million contract. It's the garbage that he brings, and the fact that a lot of those women, they got strong cases against this dude. Okay, and it just doesn't look good for the image. Any football team he goes to, they're gonna look and go, you know what? You are part of the problem. You're sexist. You allow a known sex offender to be on your football team, a starting quarterback, and that's just going to be bad PR. And we got to be honest, the NFL PR is everything.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't see him playing until this whole thing is cleared up, and it's looking ugly and like it's going to take a little while. So, I wouldn't touch him. I mean, even if it's like hey, I'll give you an 8th round draft pick for Deshaun Watson. Nah, I wouldn't even do it for an 8th round.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you now, because we look at the NBA playoffs and we look at what's going on.
Well, before we go there, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Who's coming out of the East? Who's coming out of the West? Let's predict that before you get into yours.
Okay, I believe coming out of the East, I believe it's going to be Philly.
Philly?
Yeah,
okay.
Philadelphia. I just feel like they're too hungry. I feel like they're tired of people pointing a finger at them, telling them we can't do this. I think Joel Embiid feels like he's got something to play for. As much as I want to lean my head to Giannis in Milwaukee, but you know what? Before I even say
what about Brooklyn?
Wait a minute, yeah, because
Brooklyn.
Yeah, because this is the other part of it. The other part of it, there's a part of me that wants to lean towards Brooklyn because they have so much talent on that team right now. I mean, when you look at, of course, Kevin Durant, and then you look at
the Michelin Man, James Harden, the Michelin Man.
Harden, yeah. But see, the problem is they have not been able to keep all three of those guys healthy at the same time. And this is an age. That's the reason why I'm looking towards Philly, because I'm thinking, okay, if they get down the stretch, okay, when now all of a sudden you're in the 3rd round and you're in game 4, okay, okay, now all of a sudden age and physicality becomes an issue. It's like now I'm leaning more towards Philly because they got a little more younger group than what's going on in Brooklyn. And we saw what happened a couple of years ago when the Warriors played Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was sad to watch. Those are our Warriors. We didn't want to see them lose, but age was the issue. Yep. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of.
Okay, let's just stick with your Philly because I think you're onto something there. Stick with your Philly.
Yeah,
I'm coming out of the West.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Philly. Okay, out of the West. This is hard, man. This is hard. I got a feeling this is Phoenix's year.
Okay.
I got a feeling. This is a franchise that has lost for a long time.
Yep.
They don't have no championships.
Yeah.
And I look at Utah, and I think they got exposed against Memphis. And I think something else. That was a difficult choice. Because on the other end, you know what else I was looking at? Portland.
I love it. You know what? So there was mine. You hit mine. I'm actually going Portland out of the West.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Giannis and Milwaukee out of the East. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a
Okay.
Portland Milwaukee final. That is gonna be the lamest final that you've ever heard, because it's just two towns that you've never heard. So, but I think that's gonna be awesome. That's where I'm
Okay.
going.
All right. You know, I tell you something. I like your Portland pick, and I like it because, like I said, if I didn't pick Philly and Phoenix, I probably would go with Giannis and Dame Dollar, because you know we got to be honest, man. Lillard's a fighter, man. You got to respect that dude. Okay.
A lot like Steph, man. A
Yeah,
lot.
very much like Steph. They're like a pair of bookends. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows? In 2 seasons, who knows? Dame may leave Portland and come over to Golden State. I wouldn't be surprised.
Shooters can play a long time. Ask Ray Allen.
Yep, yep, they can. And I tell you something else. Dame may play in Portland, but we all know his heart's in Oakland.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
He's a Bay Area kid.
Yeah.
So we gotta close it out. And I will say this much. As always, Matt, you deliver, my brother, as always.
Appreciate you.
So if you're watching this right now, you've had your GameFace on for the last 30 minutes, and we appreciate you being here. You can come here. You can put your feet up. You can even have a drink, but you better have your GameFace on.